Blade Runner Flash, Surfer Sting, Crow Sting, Joker Sting, the Icon. Few wrestlers in history have reinvented themselves as many times as Sting, and still stayed relevant for nearly 4 decades. From a jacked-up rookie with face paint straight out of an action figure box, to the dark savior of WCW, to a mentor writing his final chapter in AEW. Sting's career is the story of evolution in pro wrestling. This is the full story, the complete evolution of Sting, Blade Runners 1985 to 1986. Narrator: before he was the Icon, he was just Flash, one half of the Blade Runners, alongside his tag partner Jim Hellwig, the man who would later become the Ultimate Warrior. Sting cut his teeth in Bill Watts' Mid-South Wrestling. Visual recreation of Blade Runner's look. Black leather, flat-top haircuts, Road Warrior-style face paint. They were green, they were reckless, but they looked like living action figures. It didn't last long. Warrior left, but Sting stayed. And that decision changed wrestling history. Surfer Sting 1987 to 1995. Sting found himself tagging with Rick Steiner. By the end of 1986, he already held the UWF tag titles. But it wasn't until he hit WCW that his true breakthrough came. Enter Surfer Sting. Neon face paint in hot pinks and electric blues. Jacket with tassels. Sting flexing like a comic book superhero. He was colorful, fearless. WCW's ultimate babyface. The perfect hero to fight Ric Flair's dirtiest tricks. At Clash of the Champions, Sting went toe-to-toe with Flair for 45 minutes. And in the process became the face of WCW. In 1990, Sting finally beat Flair at the Great American Bash to win the NWA World title. This version of Sting was wrestling's moral compass, bright, bold, and always fighting for good. The Crow, 1996 to 1997. But as wrestling got darker, so did Sting. The NWO was running wild. Hulk Hogan was a villain. WCW turned gritty, and Sting went silent. Sting in the rafters, black and white face paint, trench coat, baseball bat. Inspired by the Crow movie, Sting transformed into a shadow. No promos, no matches. Just cold stares from the rafters and the swing of a bat. For over a year, WCW built tension without a single payoff. At Starrcade 1997, it all exploded. Sting versus Hollywood Hogan, one of the most anticipated matches ever. The match, a disaster. The finish, botched, but the aura of Crow Sting, untouchable. He was WCW's last great hope. Wolfpac Sting, 1998. In 1998, WCW split the NWO into 2 factions, Hollywood in black and white, and the Wolfpack in red and black. And shockingly, Sting sided with the Wolfpack. Gone was the silent shadow of the rafters. Now Sting walked out with red and black face paint, smiling again, cutting promos, and throwing up the Wolfpack sign beside Kevin Nash and Lex Luger. It was a dramatic shift, hip-hop entrance music, cool swagger, and a more playful attitude. Fans loved seeing a lighter side of the Icon, but the run didn't last long. Once the NWO storyline lost steam, so did Wolfpac Sting. Still, it remains one of the most memorable look changes in his career. Sting in red/black paint, standing with Kevin Nash and Lex Luger, flashing the Wolfpack hand sign. Heel Sting, 1999. In 1999, WCW tried something bold, turning Sting heel for the very first time. Gone was the loyal hero. He ditched the colorful face paint, dressed in all black leather, and carried himself with cold intensity. This version of Sting showed no mercy, attacking opponents without hesitation, cutting sharp, calculated promos, and even turning his back on the fans who had supported him for over a decade. But the timing was tough. WCW's creative direction was unstable, and fans had trouble accepting Sting as a villain. The run didn't last long, but it revealed a darker edge to his character, a glimpse of how versatile Sting could be, even if it wasn't the version fans wanted to cheer for. Sting in black leather, scowling, holding his bat with no face paint, crowd reacting uneasily. Late WCW Sting, 2000 to 2001. By the 2000s, WCW was in chaos. Sting feuded with Vampiro, where he was literally set on fire and buried alive. Fake Sting storylines, bizarre interference, and unstable creative defined this era. Visual, quick flashes, Vampiro feud, Sting returning, final Nitro match with Flair. WCW's final episode in 2001 ended fittingly. Sting versus Ric Flair. No titles, no stakes. Just two legends closing the book on WCW with respect. Sting hugged Flair, and the curtain closed. The TNA years, 2003 to 2013. When WCW died, Sting didn't go to WWE. Instead, he disappeared until he walked into TNA Wrestling. Here, Sting became the backbone of a young company. He feuded with Jeff Jarrett, Samoa Joe, Kurt Angle, and AJ Styles. He won titles. He evolved. He even joined the Main Event Mafia, ditching the paint for suits, playing the cold locker room general. And then came Joker Sting. Joker Sting 2011. Shorter version. In 2011, Sting reinvented himself once more, this time as Joker Sting. At 52 years old, instead of fading, he embraced chaos. His face paint was smeared like Heath Ledger's Joker, his promos wild and unpredictable, laughing one moment, snapping the next. This version targeted Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff's faction, Immortal. But instead of fighting them with silence, he fought with madness, taunts, riddles, and psychological warfare. Fans were divided, but one thing was certain. Sting proved he could still surprise the wrestling world, decades into his career. WWE Sting, 2014 to 2015. For over a decade, fans begged for one thing: Sting in WWE. In 2014, it finally happened. Survivor Series, the lights went out. Sting arrived. Same crow look, same aura. The fans went insane. Survivor Series 2014, Sting debut moment. But WWE blew it. At WrestleMania 31, Sting lost to Triple H in a nostalgia circus. Then came his match with Seth Rollins. It was fast, it was brutal, and it ended with Sting's body giving out. A buckle bomb nearly ended his career. Sting's WWE run lasted just months and ended with disappointment. AEW Sting, 2020 to 2024. And then, the miracle. In 2020, at 61 years old, Sting debuted in AEW. Snow fell during his entrance. The crowd roared. He teamed with Darby Allin, not as a nostalgia act, but as a warrior, mentor, and partner. Sting took bumps, dove off balconies, went through tables, and for nearly 4 years, never lost a match. AEW Revolution, 2024, retirement match highlights. Finally, at AEW Revolution 2024, Sting retired on his terms, tagging with Darby, beating the Young Bucks, raising the belts high, a career complete, a legacy intact. Closing words highlight montage of Sting through the years, from Blade Runner Flash to the icon of AEW. Sting's story isn't just about face paint and evolution. It's about loyalty, reinvention, and surviving in a business that breaks almost everyone. He is Sting, and his legend will never die. Fade to black. Text. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the story of the icon Sting. Comment below your favorite version of Sting.